Hello, everybody. This is Justin Case of American Newscape, joining our friend, media personality Jerry Maldonado, back for another installment of Meatball Therapy. Hello, Jerry. Welcome back to American Newscape.
Well, hello there, Meatball. How are you?
I'm feeling filled with uniqueness, Jerry. Really,
Uniqueness.
I feel unique. But
Yes,
this
yes,
this
you do.
this week's topic is individuality. So, Jerry,
The word, I can't pronounce it, but it's all good. I'm going to kind of go with the flow and stick with uniqueness.
okay, you stick with uniqueness, and I'll stick with individuality because I see myself as an individual, not as a eunuch.
Well, I think the duality also comes into play as well.
Okay.
But, the uniqueness is these freaking earphones in my ear. Thanks a lot for the feedback, man. I got to get used to this stuff. I'm hearing voices. I stop it.
You're okay. You're okay.
I'm all right. All right. Get to work.
All right, it'll be all right. So what you got for us, Jerry?
Oh, all right. See, there's that pause, Meatball. All right. Uh, you know, many moons ago, in land far, far away, there was a Jer who was acting a certain way. I'm turning into a poet here. But that Jer had to realize his uniqueness to get out of his situation. And one day I saw this amazing quote that really kind of hit the nail on the head for me. I know you're not into that quote thing and you don't like reading stuff like that. But that's a big part of my show with America's Mentor on Facebook. And Edison had these amazing words that really woke up the fact of what I was bringing to me. I was being the conformed individual trying to blend in with everybody. And here I am sitting in this 12 by 12 cement block motel room. I said, there's got to be a better way. I read these words from Edison. It said, the human brain emits a frequency which, when focused, are picked on by other human brains. I said, wait. I said, I'm a transmission tower. I said, what am I emitting every day? That same poor Jerry mentally, and I wasn't, how should we say, sending out my uniqueness to the world that I really wanted to do. And that's when I really tried getting into the America's Mentor mode by trying it certain ways and evolving into where I am now. His assumption back then, which basically it was a theory, was shunned upon by so many people. But it goes on to say, you are the greatest transmitter of energy in the world. Focus only on what you want. And I paraphrase that last part just for people to realize only for what you want. Your uniqueness is your life. Whether you embrace it or shun it aside as this conformity mentality, you can never get what you want in this life.
Well, Jerry, you've certainly accomplished that because you inspire a lot of people, and it's your individuality that
That's
impresses
that word.
us. That impresses us. And I think that we owe it to the world to be our own person.
It sounds so passe, I know, but people realize every, you know, we admit who we are every day. That's the best way of putting it. So whatever you're transmitting from this between the left and right ear, or whatever we want to call it, the ether, the quantum field, the metaphysical, whatever you want to call it, it's beyond the physical. You can't see it. And let it be the biggest red flag to what you're creating in life right now. And people realize these guys back then, these sages and prophets and all, they were warning us in their own esoteric way. I get it. But when you get guys like Edison and Tesla and all these people out there who didn't have the equipment back then to monitor brain function, literally explain to us out of the ether, pardon the pun, that we are transmission towers of our own thought. And when you realize what you're saying, thinking, acting, being, doing you'll realize what kind of life you have. If people will look around their own life and to realize what they're transmitting is what they're creating. This is what it connects to other brains to affect physical matter. He was saying what you're transmitting creates physical matter.
Well, right. Be a lighthouse.
Indeed.
Don't be lost in the fog.
It's stuff that it's hard to grasp for people. I get it because they can't see it. But at the same time, if people would actually embrace the uniqueness that they truly are. I mean, well, if you think you're a loser, you're going to attract, sadly to say, more losers. It's like people who cheat are actually cheating before they cheat. They're thinking about it. They're dwelling on it. They're desiring it. All of a sudden, poof, another cheater comes into the world. Oh my God, what happened? Nothing, Meatball. You were focusing on it. That there's no more excuses anymore. There's no more excuses for the life that you have, except for who you see in that mirror every single day. And if people can grasp this, it makes life really simple. Because you change what you're transmitting, you change what you're attracting.
Well, that makes sense, and Edison certainly accomplished a lot in his lifetime.
I like his words. I don't like the relationship he had with Tesla per se, but they were both geniuses in their own right, and people really couldn't grasp it back then. But now they can because you have the scientific data to back that up, and all different studies. But the point being is, if you look around your life, it's really simple. You look around your life right now, and you look what you have right now, and what you're attracting right now. You realize what you're transmitting. It's a really simple, how should we say, factual, tangible life that you have in front of you is based upon all your thoughts and your feelings.
Well, if we look at what Edison accomplished and we look at what Tesla accomplished, we must assume that Edison was better at putting out there what he wanted than Tesla.
Oh, articulating? Absolutely. You've got an immigrant Tesla. He could.
He didn't
And
know
you
what
got
he wanted.
Edison. And you got Edison, this stoic speaker. He's always been, as he was. I think of Edison as a creator of the energy. How should we say, harnessing it? And whereas Tesla was a creator of transmitting it. You know what I mean? That we still use all these functions today, actually. So you had one creating it, putting it in the stable, and one giving it legs to move. And you put those two together, and we're living in that thought or theory now. Our lives are the same way. Where we harness the power, we have all the power. And if people can realize that, they'll realize the true power they have. It's just a matter of putting it in the right direction and using it the right way. So you can use the Edison and Tesla metaphor of harnessing and transmitting with your own life. What kind of energy are you sending out? This is what changed me from a 12 by 12, cell block, if you want to call it that. People actually email me. Were you in jail? Stories? No, Meatball. I was in a motel room.
They're not. They're not that big. 12
No,
by 12.
exactly. Usually 8 by 8, I guess. But it makes so much sense when you realize that you're just basically this amazing power of energy, and wherever you point it is what you're going to bring back to you every day. Simple, but yet powerful.
Well, Jerry, while you're here, why don't you give us a couple tools to help us do that?
Exactly what Edison said, which I do every day. And obviously, journaling is a big part of my life, and it directs my morning. They call it the passive time, which is a brilliant perspective on the morning. To me, the morning is everything. It's when your brain is the calmest. This is when you can anchor in those desires and start transmitting a good energy, and most importantly, articulating, however you do, in writing, speaking, the life that you want. But Edison was completely correct. He said, you're the greatest transmitter of energy in the world. Focus on what you want. This is where you will use that passive time, whatever it may be, when you first wake up, to install that uniqueness, that new you that you already have. Just figuring out how to send it out. We already harness the power. We already harness all the ability to create what we want in life, but we fail to recognize because we had to follow the conformity concept that you and I were talking about in the pre-show. When you start following conformity, that can only create the life that you don't want, and there's no more excuses about the life that you have. You have the power to change anything just by changing your direction of thought every day.
Well, we talk about conformity. Society wants us to conform so they can keep us regimented, or they
In
can,
the stable.
yeah, keep us from being individuals, keep us from thinking or analyzing. So if we play the role of meek sheep that society wants, we're easier to control.
Well, it's called, yeah, they put us in a box. But you heard the metaphor, step out of the box. It's a really simple idea and something to push along with your life. When you step out of the box that everybody has put us in, be it society, media, cultures, and all these other religions, when you step out of that box that you've allowed them to put you in, is when you really start showing the world your uniqueness, most importantly, and you start attracting better. You bring exactly who you are, and it's an amazing belief system to have that you can create anything just by being that unique self that you've always wanted to be.
That's right, and having a pure motive. I mean,
Thank you.
too much,
Motive.
too much
Motive
of
is
this
key.
comes to us. Too much of what we hear comes to us because there's agents with bad purpose feeding it to us.
I, to me, anything with a hashtag trending is conformity. Because they want you to watch who they are and become that. It's a nice thing to get some views on, but when you start going with the trend, you're just following the herd. We turn into sheeple.
Sheeple.
I get it. I'm on social media all day long because I love getting information and also seeing these type of videos where they're telling people how to be. That's just us growing up doing person to person. They're just doing it now on a viral level. It's the same thing. And people still need to grasp that uniqueness that they hold in order to bring what they truly want in life and start following the herd.
Absolutely, Jerry. And, you and I kick off our time of thought a little bit differently. When I finish my day, when my day is completely finished, then I make my list of what needs to happen for me tomorrow. So when I hit the ground running in the morning, I know what to do. I know what to focus on. I know what to get after.
That's a powerful point because people like yourself, I do this a lot myself. I make sure I go to sleep at night knowing what I'm going to create the next day. And the subconscious never sleeps. And you tell it what you want to create the next day, you will wake up ready to go for the next day. It's just a psychological paradigm shift, and that people need to grasp once they realize that the grass is greener on the other side, Meatball. Just depends on what kind of water you're giving it. So don't be afraid to go to bed knowing that you're going to have a successful day the following day, or you're going to create the most amazing day. You start uttering those words before you go to sleep, you're going to start waking up with that kind of feeling. And this is what they did in the olden days. As they wrote in their journals before they went to bed at night, they brought about all these different functions that they wanted to bring, from the simplest form to the biggest inventions. This is how it all starts. It all starts with the foundation of thought that we bring every day.
Jerry, I appreciate that, and I think you came up with a great topic, and I think you put it out there pretty well.
Yeah, I just can't spell the word or speak the word meatball.
Speak
But
the
yeah,
word.
it was pretty.
Well,
Just make
Jerry,
sure you put that in this. You got to put it in syllables. I'm on the headline when you put the video up.
well, I have that problem too. I'll put it on my list that I need to learn pronunciation of certain words.
See the seashell by the seashore. I know.
Yeah,
I
that's
get
right.
it. I get it.
All right,
Good
everybody.
show, man. Awesome.
Yeah, good show. This has been Just in Case and Jerry Maldonado bringing you Meatball Therapy. Thanks for joining us. Remember, additional information and links provided in this video's read more. Today's the day to subscribe to this channel. Please learn more about Jerry Maldonado and individuality when time permits.